Coeur d'Alene mayor and city administrator are backing different police chief candidates after the retirement of the previous chief earlier this year. What happens next tonight? The Spokane County Sheriff's Office held a news conference today on weapons trafficking and gang violence. What they had to say coming up.
Monday turned out to be toasty for us, and we could still be warm tomorrow, but I'm also tracking changes in our forecast.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Just into our newsroom at this hour, Spokane will be the official base camp for Team Egypt for the World Cup. Senator Marcus Riccelli made that announcement just moments ago. So Team Egypt will train at Gonzaga University and stay at Northern Quest Casino and Resort before their matches in Seattle. All right, let's get right to our forecast at 5 o'clock here tonight with meteorologist Cody Proctor joining us in the Outdoor Weather Center on a pretty perfect Monday. Cody?
It is, I have to say, Mark, comfortable right now outside in the Outdoor Weather Center because as we continue to warm up, you can see our temperatures are at 74 degrees right now, and it just feels so nice to be out here. I've never had so many people jealous of me in our newsroom because I get to be out here and they're inside. I'll take the perks when I can get them. And as we take a look around our area, you can see our temperatures are mostly into those 70s for us right now. We're at 79 degrees over at Moses Lake, 75 in Coeur d'Alene, and 70 right now in Sandpoint. Lots of sunshine being seen. As we head into the next couple of days, though, we are looking at some changes. You can see it right here. That swirl that's moving in, that is our low pressure system that's looking to bring us a chance for some more rain as we head to our midweek. Could also bring us a chance for some thunderstorms as well for tomorrow. But enjoy the now as we head into the rest of this evening. Our temperatures look to stay into the 70s. We're cooling down into the upper 40s for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow could still be in the mid 70s in our forecast, but you can see a big drop in our temperatures are expected for Wednesday and Thursday. I'll have more on what's coming up in your full forecast.
Talk to you then, Cody. Thank you. Today, the Spokane County Sheriff's Office gave an update on an investigation connected to a deadly shooting at a North Spokane gas station. That incident happened last April and left one person dead. KREM 2's Regan Gallo was at the Sheriff's Office today and joins us with the latest.
5 suspects have been federally charged after a year-long investigation into weapons trafficking and gang-related violence here in Spokane County. One of these incidents took place right here behind me at this Maverick gas station on Montgomery Avenue. That was the sound of video obtained by the Spokane County Sheriff's Office from the April 2025 Maverick gas station shooting that killed one person and left another injured. The Sheriff's Office tells us the firearms used in this incident come from a larger weapons trafficking network. Investigators say the guns came from a gang known as the Indian Pride Organization. 5 suspects have been federally charged with weapons trafficking conspiracy, all ages from 19 to 21. They say the weapons were purchased legally in Montana. Those firearms would then be sold or traded to gang members in Spokane. Sheriff's Office says some gang members were juveniles. Sheriff John Knowles says weapons trafficked were involved in 4 shootings across eastern Washington, including the Maverick gas station shooting.
You heard how many rounds were fired in a matter of seconds, and you know, our citizens, our innocent citizens, are subjected to that. They don't pick and choose where it's safe for the rest of the public to conduct their violent acts.
Law enforcement officials say that a person convicted of weapons trafficking conspiracy can face a sentence of up to 15 years in federal prison. Now, Sheriff John Knowles made it clear that despite this announcement today, the investigation continues. For now, I'm reporting in Spokane County. Regan Gallo, KREM 2 News.
Here is a look at Woodridge Elementary today after a car crashed into the side of a classroom. The school's principal says no students were inside that room at the time of the crash. And right now the school's maintenance team is working to safely clear and assess the room, and students are using another classroom to continue classes. We'll continue to follow this one and bring you more information as to what all happened here today. Meantime, 2 people died in a crash while trying to evade Grant County deputies. Deputies say they were on the run from a separate hit and run they'd just been involved in. Here's what we know. Washington State Patrol says that first crash happened on State Route 17 at the on-ramp for Stratford Road. The car hit an SUV, they say, in the other lane, then drove away. WSP says they chased the car to the west of Moses Lake on Road 3. That's where the Grant County Sheriff's Office says the car crashed head-on into a service truck. Both the car's driver and passenger died. First responders took the truck driver to the hospital for injuries. As of right now, WSP is still investigating the incident. Another gray whale found dead near ocean shores in Washington is adding to growing concerns among researchers. Scientists identify the animal as an adult male and say it showed signs of malnourishment, though the exact cause of death is still unknown. The latest case brings the total number of gray whale deaths in Washington to 12 this year, an unusually high number for this early in the season. Researchers say strandings typically peak later in the spring, but this year's timeline appears accelerated. Scientists continue to monitor the trend, calling it part of a broader pattern affecting gray whales across the region. In Idaho right now, the city of Kellogg is gearing up for a busy few months with about $2 million in infrastructure upgrades underway. City Superintendent Mike Fitzgerald says the work includes street paving, stormwater repairs, sidewalk improvements, and the final phase of a multi-year chip seal project. The largest project is a new city shop near East Portland Avenue, expected to cost around $1.5 million and continue into the winter. Fitzgerald says most projects should be finished by mid-August, with the chip seal work wrapping up later in the summer. With the fragile ceasefire between the United States and Iran set to expire Tuesday night, uncertainty is growing over what happens next. Natalie Brand has the latest from the White House tonight, where President Trump wrote in a social media post that he is under no pressure to make a deal.
Pakistan's capital of Islamabad is preparing for a second round of peace talks this week between the U.S. and Iran, but it remains unclear if in-person negotiations will move forward. Iran says it doesn't plan to attend, and in a social media post, the country's president says a deep mistrust of the U.S. remains.
Anybody who has dealt with the Iranians will tell you it is often 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. They're incredibly slippery. They can't be trusted.
Tensions escalated this weekend in the Strait of Hormuz.
We're prepared to subject you to disabling fire.
Video from U.S. Central Command shows the seizure of an Iranian tanker that failed to comply with the U.S. blockade. The U.S. Navy fired warning shots before Marines rappelled onto the ship Sunday. Iran has threatened to retaliate, and over the weekend, ship tracking sites reported Iranian forces firing on at least 2 commercial vessels in the strait.
Iran has called the U.S. blockade an obstacle in negotiations, along with what it calls excessive demands by the U.S.
President Trump on social media said the United States is offering a fair and reasonable deal, but warned if Iran doesn't take it, the U.S. will knock out every single power plant and bridge.
Bridges, power plants that are run by the IRGC, which runs the entire military, are absolute legitimate military targets.
The president has said he's not likely to extend the ceasefire if there isn't an agreement. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Still more stories to come here on KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. The Coeur d'Alene mayor and city administrator are split on who should lead the police department following the chief's retirement earlier this year. What that means for the future of that position, coming up in just 3 minutes.